Are you on now? Alright. So, can y'all hear me? We've got serious problems. Larry can't hear us. It's on his end for sure. It's not from Flash.
No, they can't hear me on this show.
Yeah, I know they can't hear you either, but I'm talking to them. Supposedly I'm talking to the audience. Because I know they can't hear you. I'm waiting for a response. No, they can't even hear it. We went to air before, so I don't know what the problem is. Oh, there we are. We're back. Thank you, Grammy. Thank you, Grimmer. Grimner, the Channel 24 deal there. So I'm not even sure if we're going to make a show. We can't get Larry in here. Well, we can get him in, but he can't hear us. So the Channel 24 deal right there, I don't know. See, the old chat, if you click on it now, that chat's dead. So the new address, the ucy.tv/chat, that Grammy Hair Circles Flash. How could y'all hear them? How could y'all hear Flash, their circles? You can't hear them at all. They've not said nothing, and y'all can't hear them. Larry, do you hear anything yet? Yeah, the settings are for this end to be heard, and because of the internal stereo deal, you can't hear them. So I have a problem or a solution for that problem. I think he wasn't going to address it today. Larry cannot hear us, and it is definitely not on this end. Yes, Larry's through Skype. But listen, we tried to add him from Flash's end, and he couldn't hear us, so I hung up and I called him on mine. No, the new chat is in there, Vince. Now I opened it, Grimner, and you can go back over there. It's not the right one. Can you hear me, Larry? No, can't hear us, Larry. Just vocal local. That is vocal local over there. Oh, you did fix it. Well, no, you didn't. Nope. No, sir. Grim, that's the wrong one over there. It says the same thing.
Can you hear me?
No.
You can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you.
Damn it.
But you can't hear us. Yeah, that looks right, Grimner, but it's not, so I'm not sure what's up. If you click that address that I gave you right there, it takes you to the real chat. So it may appear to be the right one, but it's not. Hi, Master Brow. How did you hear both of us? Who did you hear, Grammy? Have him go on a Skype option. Sounds. Sorry, he has no sound. Grammy, you can hear him and you can hear me, but he can't hear us. Okay, try this. Right click and select the frame. And refresh. Okay, try this and click. Right click and select this frame and then refresh this frame. On the left frame. Yeah, you did hear Larry, but he can't hear us. I don't know what it is. Wait a minute. Larry Woods, I can hear. Let me go back up here.
Hear you now?
Oh, you do? You can hear me?
Hear you now?
Okay.
You're
clippy. I'm not sure what you're doing.
I'm trying to turn the volume up.
Okay. So
I hear him.
Can you hear me well enough?
I hear him really good.
Yeah, it just sounds like you have like you push your button down to talk and then let off. But I hear you fine. There's only one person over there, Grimner, and that's me. That's not the UC White chat anymore. what's on that? Let's see what gives me open. No, that's not. That's the. I don't know how to explain it in technical terms, but it's. I guess I'll put show now. Ah, shit.
Can we still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me go ahead and just get show now going right now. Just, I guess we'll run with that. It's technical day looks like. Alright, so there's show now. We're going. Let me go back over here, real over here. We're going to run through some technical issues here, Larry, if you don't mind standing by. Okay, Graham, let me off my team viewer and let's do this as we go. Stand by, just stand by, please. Team view, come in. Maybe I got to close my windows down to get my team view. Okay. Let me go back to Grimner. Okay, you'll be able to hear me. Okay. Jeremy says she's hearing Cirque. You couldn't have heard Cirque because she's not even by the microphone. And I hadn't heard her, but it can't be Cirque. Okay, Grimner, I've got my team viewer open, and so I hear you beating on the keypad. Is that? I think that's you, Flash, right? So we can't hear you, but they. Well, I forgot. I can hear you. They can't. Sorry. Okay, it'll only take us a second. Let me, Grimner, let me add you into this call. Maybe we can conversate a little easier, and I can.
Can you
let
hear
me
me?
add Grimner.
Can you hear me talking?
If this is going to work. Contact. I don't know why I've got two alphabetical lists here. Where are you going? There you are. You're not showing being on. Alright, I'm just dialing up, Graham. I've got all these tabs here, Jim. We're trying to do this too. No, Flash is cooking. They got family over. Cirque is cooking. There's family over. I don't know how you're hearing Flash. There's not any possibility you can hear Flash. I don't understand. He's not being able to be heard, period. Yeah, and he's muted. Okay, so we didn't get Grimner in. Let me try this again. Where you at, Grim? I'll just read out the numbers over the air. Come in. Y'all welcome to hijacking this truck. You can keep Grimner in. Okay, here's Grimner. Let me add him to the call group.
Alright, there you are.
Okay. I'm gonna go. Let me minimize this. I'll go copy these numbers that you need for the ID. Copying this, I'm gonna drop it in the chat, and then I'll give you the passwords for my app. What I need to Skype. Okay, I'm dropping that. There.
Where?
Into the Skype chat box there. That's the ID, and the password is 6230.
What's the password?
6230.
come on, muted on? Oh, because of the Skype. Wait a minute. I just unmuted my window.
Yeah, there's no way anybody could have heard you.
Yeah, well, I just muted it again.
All right, man.
Wait, did you hear that?
Oh, good. I don't know why it's taking so long to authenticate here.
I don't get this. But I'm eating.
Grammy said they could hear you, Flash. Say something, Flash.
Something, Flash.
Wait, where's this? Yeah, I'll try again.
Wait,
okay,
so
there you got it.
when I'm muted...
What's that password again?
6230.
Oh, wow. So when I'm muted, they don't hear me, but when I'm not muted, they don't. When I'm muted, they hear me, and when I'm not muted, they don't. There you go.
Really? It's not a good password, right?
Oh, I'm sorry. I inverted it 6320. Sorry. I do that shit all the time, as you know.
I was right-handed and there ain't no cure for it.
They said they hear Flash. Hear us both. Hey, man. You're hearing Larry and Shirley from his Flash. Say something, Flash.
Real Liberty Media. Okay. You're looking at
Yeah, you see this one right here, this chat is no bueno. I'm sorry, move the mouse. I'll stop. Yeah, that's gonna stop. Let me grab some. Don't do nothing. And it's not moving. Alright, yeah.
Hey, see where my cursor is here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so right click, go this frame.
Oh.
I say reload frame. Let's do the same thing here. Yeah, you gotta check that. This whole thing should be you're like, oh, this is all old-fashioned shit. Slow acting.
Show your player. Kill the player. Yeah, thank you. Kill the player, Grimmer.
There.
I think you did it.
Now you get me. Let me do it.
Sorry, I have to do this. Alright.
Yeah, I moved the player at the bottom, so the chat's doing it better.
Okay. Oh, yeah,
that's the chat, man. That's the one you want.
Okay, we got it now.
I updated that. Oh, is that okay?
Well, you had a dumbass on the other end. But, you had a dumbass here on the other end you're dealing with. You got Okay, so, now then is what I want. Well, I guess I want. I have to kill it. Yeah, let me back up. Let me get this right here. Okay, now let me get 2014. And it works. You did it. You're amazing, Grimner. You're gonna be I'm the God that will have a God.
Alright, well, I'm looking for a fix for your stereo mix, and we'll get back to that.
Okay. Right on. And next week I'm going to pour myself into technology and okay, so turn it back to mine.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, now, thanks, Grimmer. Now,
Hello?
okay, just a minute, Flash. I'm going to have, okay, now, let me get back over to the chat over there. Now can you all hear Flash? Say something, Flash.
Boo.
He said boo. Say something else.
Something else is coming. Once upon a time, there was a big monster.
Okay. There you go. Once upon there was a big monster. Can you hear that, Grammy and Beth? Did you have your mic muted when you said it?
No.
All right, mute your mic and say it.
Once upon a time, there was a big monster named Vince.
Now his mic is muted. Can you hear him saying anything now? Say something. I don't know if he's saying it.
Once upon a time, there was a big monster named
He's
Vince.
fast. Yeah, you're such a sweetheart. It's not the mic, it's me, okay?
Yeah, I don't know.
Best says they can't hear you,
Okay,
Flash,
so
but I
now,
can't hear you.
when it's
That's
muted,
crazy, man.
you can't hear me, but they can.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, she said boom back. Amazing.
What
So
about,
I can't hear you, but they can.
all right, so when I'm muted, they hear me, but you don't. And when I'm
Yeah,
not
and-
muted, you hear me, but they don't.
And Larry says, no, yeah, he can't hear us.
So I'm sitting here with the muted button on thinking, well, I can eat because they can't hear me.
Well, so my apologies. Y'all weren't wrong. I was wrong.
Okay.
But I wasn't wrong. I was mistaken. Let me correct that. I'm never wrong. Grimner said you're using an old-timey megaphone to talk. That'd be me. Yeah, this was probably made in the 1970s. Well, I wish you guys could see camera here. I would show you my incredible mixing board and a professional mic. But my problem is marrying it into this computer. It has the double quarter-inch jack that comes out of the mixer. So I can plug my great mic into the mixer, and then I'm just sitting there holding it in my hand. Even if I plug it into the wall, it doesn't have a connection to the computer. My assumption, which I've never been able to get confirmed. Where's Larry at? I don't know. I'll go look for him.
I'm here.
Yeah, he's here. There you go.
Can you hear
So
me
my
too? Larry, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
All right,
I could
wait.
not hear you before.
All right.
Okay.
You cannot
So,
hear me now, right, Larry?
As a producer then, on the back end there, Flash, you'll be able to talk to us, but not to the network.
How nice.
But I think our sound quality, Beth, is our quality better now on my end from as before where I was in the bucket? Have I got my head above the rim?
Yeah, you sound pretty good on this end.
Okay, it's 40 seconds till it hits there, so. Yeah, I'm completely discombobulated. Anybody else? Let me catch up on messages. We're there. Alright, so I'm going to minimize this. Y'all can see it. Something like quiet. Can you hear me later?
Yeah, I just muted my microphone.
Oh, okay, that was it.
Are you getting a lot of background noise from me?
No, it's just, it's not. No, it's not. It's just, I can tell. It sounds like I lost air when you muted. Okay, Grammy says we do sound better, and yes, thank you, Beth. She says my quality is better, so, wow, this is great too. So, anyways, as I was saying, I got a great mixer and sound mixer and mic. And all these smart people that I talked to last time I tried to get it hooked up, I got different answers. So I still think, but I'm not willing to spend $70 on it. I think, if I buy a double quarter-inch to USB, if that would run my soundboard into my computer, whether it even understand and recognize it. So unless I've got somebody that's got it in their hand that says, yeah, this works. Okay, so 2 minutes till the 420 report, and I've got to walk a mile to be able to do that. So I guess I'll be dry on the 420. I'm going to go back over here to
And that makes one of us.
That makes one of us. Okay, actually I'm going to drop in here to UCY, and I'm going to drop this. What happened? Why did he enter?
So the problem lies, if I talk, you can hear me, but they can't, or they can hear me, but you can't. So this is going to be fun.
Yeah. Okay. So I've spammed UCY.TV. Somebody's beeping me again.
So you can hear the house going on when I'm not muted, but when I'm muted, then you hear everything going on here.
They hear it. I don't hear you.
Right. The radio gets it.
Yeah, the radio gets you.
So
They hear you.
if I want to be muted on the radio, I leave it unmuted, and if I want them to hear on the radio, I mute.
Yeah, that's correct.
Whoa,
You
what
want
a
to be
mess.
heard.
I don't think I can
So
do it.
mute up and say something. If, before you do, let me ask the chat. Is his sound quality compared to my sound quality? So mute up and talk, Flash. Shut your mouth when you're talking.
Yeah, once upon a time there was a little girl named Goldilocks that liked bears and honey.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, well, she made the mistake of
Unmute.
sticking her hand in the honey and wiping it off
unmute
with
them?
the bear. Am I done? Okay, that was it.
All right, so they did hear you, Flash. I was calling them crazy. Grammy said they could hear you in search.
Right. Oh, man.
That's impossible.
I had it muted on Skype. I don't get it at all. I think it's the NSA, man, and the FBI. And
she said that's because you need to mute your Skype. Did you mute your Skype, or what did you mute?
I muted my Skype.
Well, there you have it, Grammy.
I will mute my Skype right now, and you cannot hear anything I say until I unmute my Skype again. Wow. Cirque did that.
All right, Dan Big Cooper is on his way over. He'll show up as Hans D3 over here at Real Liberty Media World Truth. And he said, tell Snarky, sorry he's late. I'm not sure if he's talking to me or you.
I don't know either. Who the hell is Snarky?
There's Hans D3.
Yeah, good. Is he
Guten Tag, Hans D3.
Is he?
Is
he
no.
Adolf Hitler's personal ball washer?
I think that is Adolf Hitler's personal ball washer. Is that correct? I don't know. Mute your Skype and your broadcaster, Grammy says. This is the famous Vince Easley here today with the amazing Flash, my producer and co-captain. He has his tongue cut out because he wouldn't shut his mouth when he was talking to me. All right, correct. Somebody's got to do it.
Yeah, just stay
Larry,
sharp.
are you about ready to get going here? We're only 22 minutes into the first hour.
Good. That means I won't have to talk so much. Won't bore the people.
Well, so I did do a lot of preliminaries, but I am completely inept at discussing this. But I've got some tabs open so I can go refresh my memory to be able to ask you some questions. But let me go back here, World Truth, and I will read to you that this is No Time for Rational Thinking, Volume 6, Void 6, Episode or Excursion 5 and 6, Frequency. And this is Real Liberty Media World Truth, Tuesday, noon Central, 7 p.m. in Denmark. Our guest is Larry Woods, and you may remember him from last week. And this is the 22nd of December 2015. Listen and chat and join World Truth. Now Hans says come over. I've had a few people accept invites to World Truth. I'm trying to gather the biggest and the best, the greatest and the brightest, and gather them all up over here at World Truth, where we can have a fine place to network that is not censored or algorithms and all that good stuff that your famous Facebook provides you. All right, so now what I've done, I've gone back over here to my browsers, and I've opened. So there's several different things we might talk about frequencies. There's frequency weapons. There's frequency, ATP, frequency as it is considered by biologists to be the energy currency of life. It is a high energy molecule that stores the energy we need to do just about everything we do. It is present in the cytoplasm and nucleoplasm of every cell, and essentially all the physiological mechanism that requires energy for operation of painted. I don't know where that bumping sounds come from. Are you on mute, Larry? By chance?
Yes, I'm muted.
Okay. I had a bumping sound. It's probably coming because Flash isn't muted. Y'all can't hear it, so I can hear it. So I'll try not to feedback.
The nephew's playing on the chair.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll ignore that.
Go hit him or something for you?
Yeah. Would you kick him in his?
I'll go knock him out. I'll be back in a minute.
Kick him in his ball sack for me. Great. Okay. Let me back up. Mechanism that require energy for operation obtained directly from the stored ATP. That's a glycan. Has food in the cells and it gradually oxidizes. Is gradually oxidized. That is, the released energy is used to reform the ATP, so that the cell always maintains a supply of this essential molecule. Carp quotes an estimate of more than 2 times 10 to the 26th power. Wow, that is an incredibly large number, almost to the point of impossibility. It may be, I don't know mathematically. That's a very large number. Molecules are 160 kilograms of ATP is formed in the human body daily. ATP is remarkable for its ability to enter into many coupled reactions, both those to food to extract energy within the reactions or other physiological processes to provide energy to them. In animal systems, the ATP is synthesized in tiny energy factories called mitochondria by a process called glycolysis. Glycolysis. All right. So this is some. Unless I'm just completely way out left field, I thought I had that to do with frequency, but I've got this as the energy, so I'm not sure if I'm really way off base here. Let me go back to wavelength, frequency, and energy calculations. So, what was I?
You're not off base at all. Everything is energy. Everything from a photon to the entire universe has 3 properties. It vibrates, which is frequency. It is electric, and it is magnetic. Those 3 things make up every single thing that there is, from the smallest thing to the very largest. So you're right on point. There's an electrical energy in everything. Our body is run by electricity. The trees are electric. Everything is some form of electricity to operate. And it's all free.
That's awesome. Okay. I have one ATP, the perfect energy currency from the cell. In the abstract of that, this is from a creation standpoint, the major energy currency molecule of the cell ATP is evaluated in the context of creationism. This complex molecule is critical for all life, from the simplest to the most complex. It is only one of millions of enormously intricate nanomachines that needs to have been designed in order for life to exist. We may be getting towards the God particle, the question. They've broken life down into itty-bitty pieces, and, before they could see an atom, So life is very, very complex, and the mechanism to cause it to run, it's amazing to me that all this started from a rock into an amoeba and on to you and me. Well, that really doesn't make sense to me. Anyways, so energy and frequency, everything resonates, right? So I've heard, Larry, that actually the vibration of sound is what creates matter in itself. So can you address that?
Yeah, if I can find the unmute button. Sorry. Frequency, whether we can hear it ourselves, frequency is a type of sound. Our ears are very, very limited in what they can actually hear. We don't hear all of the frequencies that there are, but frequency starts at, 0.1 from 0 and goes all the way up into the whatever the next step beyond terahertz is. That's 12 zeros, but that's in the gamma range. So everything has a specific frequency. Light, color, sound, it's all frequency. Microwave, that's a frequency. The brain operates off of different frequencies, like the gamma brain activity is 38 to 90 hertz. The high beta is from 18 to 38 hertz. The mid beta is from 15 to 18 hertz. Alpha is 0.5 to 12 hertz. So all of these, everything operates on a frequency. Everything operates because it's got a frequency. It operates on electricity. It has electricity. And because it has electricity, it has a magnetic field. That's the Holy Trinity: frequency, electricity, and magnetism. So, and the frequencies that we're using today, let's just take Wi-Fi, for example. Most schools have Wi-Fi in them now. That means that your children from kindergarten all the way up through 12th grade are being susceptible, are being bombarded by different kinds of frequencies that are harmful to them. 50% of the females are going to be sterile, and a little less percentage of the males are going to be sterile. This is population control. This is the 12 years that the government has your children molding their minds to the deviousness of the government.
Wow, that's nice. And I'm not a bit surprised. I do know some about that. By the way, welcome Walter Solveneer event Saturdays. UCY.TV. Great mind there. I really appreciate you, Walter. Welcome, Wanataco. I'd like a burrito, a taco, and a slide of go, please. So let me back up here. Let's see. We had a couple of comments here in Real Liberty Media chat. Everything is always about Nazis. You guys are living in that. So yeah, I like to have fun with the Nazis there, Hans. You are my favorite Nazi. The bee's knees, if you please. So let me come on down here. Bestas were freakers, and Grammy's not loony. That's his sister, our bunch of loony. I did have something printed in here. Okay, here we go. Grammy at work says, doesn't the vibration cause the electricity? So I'll stop with that question for you right there.
Yeah, okay. The vibration, anytime you move a magnetic field past the conductor, or a conductor past a magnetic field, either way, that movement generates electricity. So with frequency, you have electricity. That's where everything starts, is frequency. You've got to move. When you move, you generate electricity.
Okay, so let's look at how that's done. You've got an iron core. You got your wrappings around your copper. So the one spins around the other. That movement then around this magnetic field is producing the electricity. Can you explain how that occurs in, and correct me where I misspoke?
Well, okay. You wrap your copper around the iron core, and then you energize the copper. That makes the magnetic field. That generates the magnetic field. If you simply put a magnetic bearing in the center of a toroidal coil, that will generate electricity.
Now,
the spinning of the magnetic bearing.
So here,
you don't need the iron.
Yeah, we were talking about that last time that you're on. And my apologies for screwing up all the archives there, man. I jumbled it, but I'm not going to worry about it. As soon as we're done this week, next week I'm going to be working on correcting all my mistakes. Third time's a charm. Now, we're at 60 hertz right here as far as our electrical cycle. We got 110, 120 volts. volts is pressure. If you imagine a water hose with water flowing through it, volts is the pressure, right, Larry?
Yeah, volts is how is being pushed, and the amps is when you squeeze it down to make it come out harder. That's amperage.
Yeah, so
the amps are what will hurt you.
That's matter of fact, what, like 1 milliamp? That's enough. That's electricity required to power a light bulb on a Christmas tree. So very low, a milliamp is enough to cause your heart to stutter, right? I mean, it doesn't take much amperage.
Right. The amperage is bad for you, but you'll get hurt worse on the ground wire, on the neutral wire, not the ground wire, on the neutral wire. It's like your plug has got a black and a white wire on it. The white wire carries the full load of everything that's plugged into that circuit. So that white wire will get you better than the black wire will, but they'll both hurt you.
That's the return to ground. And then when you're looking at the voltage, the high voltage, that's that pressure being pushed through. So you hear these people on high voltage lines, getting, the electricity going through, blowing a foot off or something. It's like, imagine constricting the end of a hose there, when you got a nozzle on it. So, that comes about through the transformer. So tell us how a transformer works, Larry.
A transformer is two opposing coils. One coil with at least twice as many wraps as the other. What you do is you energize one of them, and that induces electrically a charge into the other one. That's how you get, you put 120 in and get 12 out. You're inducing a charge into that 12-volt coil.
So we find capacitors in electronics. How does a capacitor work in relation?
A capacitor is similar to a battery. It stores a charge. But with a capacitor, you can either use it a little bit at a time or discharge it all at once.
And this is kind of referring a bit to the technology involved in this coil that you're currently involved in producing, right?
Right. We do not use iron. That's really a no-no. What the iron core does is that limits the magnetic field. That means that your transformer can only do one thing. It has to be specially made to do anything but one thing. So we've eliminated the iron core. We've separated the circuits. We've given the magnetic field a place to grow. We use only toroidal shapes, or mostly toroidal shapes.
What does toroidal mean?
Bagel, donut, a donut shape. And there's a very specific proportion to that donut. I lost my train of thought. Oh, there we go. We put 6 circuits minimum on a coil, 6, 12, 18, 24, 72, like that. Simply because a coil in a toroidal shape can be both a transformer and an induction coil at the same time. There's no point in having all of these other specialized transformers to do multiple jobs. Now you can do it all out of one coil. But the secret to making a good coil is not to allow your magnetic fields to cross anywhere other than 90 degrees or 180 degrees.
Okay. Sorry, I'm doing a little promotion here late, 40 minutes in. So drop that over where I'm telling full truth that we are live right now, and I'm taking this over to Facebook. I'm going to pop that in there too. And I'm using my little trickery. I'm not including any links on Facebook. It's just a simple status. That way, it does not get censored or go through their little algorithms. I see Stephen Brooks just popped up in my notifications to left there. So yes, we are live now. Real Liberty Radio, War World Truth. This is No Time for Rational Thinking. This is the sixth voyage, the fifth and sixth excursions, dealing with frequency. Larry Woods is our guest today. Let's hear Larry Woods, Becky Haynes, the fourth form, and Kara Young. Kara Young's on Saturdays, 4 o'clock, here on Real Liberty Media. She did her second show last week. I'm waiting for her to get the archives routed over there to YouTube. I think she's going to play some, and I'll bring them back to World Truth and share with you guys. So, and let me do a little promo for tonight on UCY.tv, and I will have phone lines open there at 718-717-8296. And this tonight at 6 p.m. Central Time, the Bundy Ranch story. I was there. The Battle of Bunkerville tonight live, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific on UCY.tv. Game on with Ron Stevens. Go to UCY.tv news, or if you're here at Real Liberty Media, you can listen via channel 24 to the left. So I'm going to guess with Ron Stevens. Ron Stevens is in, we're trying to get him hooked up there with Hal. I spent a few hours with Hal last night on somebody's inbox on Skype. I'll get there in a minute. With Hal, and so we're trying to get that set up. And when you're, pretty complicated deal when you're all on different systems and whatnot. But anyways, tonight I stand with the Bundys, and I'm going to call my buddy out in Vegas. I asked him to call in and be part of the show tonight. So whatever you think about the whatever involved there about the Bundys, okay, keep beeping. Yeah, I'll get there in a minute and read that. Where was I? Yes, I stand with Bundy. So, people turned out from all across the nation, even other parts of the world, to stand in the gap. Despite the fears, we stood in the gap against oppression of this federal government. And although I may share some different views about the Constitution and so forth, I do stand for freedom. So we've got 19 people and 7 shares of my post for that. So I've been promoting that pretty heavy. Now let me go back to Flash. Okay, Larry put that in, I think. Wi-Fi. They're eating hell for us. And that's from the Guardian. I'll open that, and I'll take it over to the chat. And so let me hear from you, Larry, on that.
Yeah. Like I was saying a while ago, this is going to make most of your, or half of your female children sterile. When you put a cell phone up to your head, if you take an infrared photograph of the brain before a cell phone, it's cool. It's got spots in it that are firing. When you put a cell phone up to your head, that's exposing you to radioactivity, or not the radioactivity, the microwave. And the microwaves are literally heating your brain. There have been people die by sleeping with their cell phone on their ear. So it's a really dangerous thing. If you've got a cell phone, you need to go on to Amazon or eBay and buy. It's a business card type coil, and it fits right over your battery, your phone, beneath the case, inside the case, and that'll block that radiation from you. We need to start thinking about the safety of the devices that we're creating. The computer that you're in front of is doing the same thing to you. It's receiving Wi-Fi. It's going into you. It's heating your body up. It's heating your brain up. Put on the tinfoil hats. You need to protect yourself from it. And a Faraday cage is the way to do it. Whether you put the Faraday cage around the device or around your body. Faraday clothing is available. You have to be real gentle with it because at this point in its production, it tends to lose its ground. And when it's not ground, that means that it builds up a charge and makes it worse. So you've got to discharge it. Something that I'd like to do is get Faraday clothing and put a reclamation circuit on it so that when it does build up a charge, you don't have to worry about discharging it. It goes into the capacitor system so you can stick your cell phone in your pocket and charge it.
We're assailed at every turn. Now, I was speaking a little bit earlier about the frequency or the let's see, we run at 50 or is it 60?
We run at 60. Everything in the world operates on either 50 or 60 as mains power. So what we've done with our generators, it's got to be modulated anyway. So we're putting it at 54 cycles. 54 times 8 is 432. 432 is middle A. 54 would be low A. 54 will run both 50 and 60 cycle equipment efficiently, and that gets us out of the 440 that it would put us in, that simply makes us all agitated and stupid.
That's why I'm like,
right.
Is that why I'm pissed off right now? No, I'm just kidding.
It could be.
Now,
when our smart meters are the same.
Yeah.
The smart meters on your house are doing the same thing. The high power lines are doing the same thing. All of this EMF, the frequencies, the electricity that we're using puts out is harmful to us. We just need to change its frequency so that it will be helpful to us.
Makes sense to me.
Well, is there? Yeah, I said that makes sense to him as well. I'm spamming. You see why? So, is there a way to shield like our smart meter? Is it directional? Does it radiate out like a ripple? Could you put up a piece of tin or something, or a lead sheet to direct it away from possibly towards your house if it's pointing away already? And
that would help a tiny bit, but what it does is it puts that frequency into your entire electrical system. That means your whole house is emanating that frequency.
Oh, wow.
It's a magnetic, electromagnetic frequency that radiates at 90 degrees perpendicular to everything electric in your house that's on.
So something I like to do is get out and go to ground.
Absolutely.
Pitch me a tent and go to the desert. And my mom told me ever since I was a kid, take your shoes off, get your feet on the ground. What is the correlation to that to actually physically connecting to the ground?
Sympathetic frequency. You're just readjusting your frequency because the Earth has a stronger force than you do. It's adjusting your frequency to match it.
And what is the frequency that radiates from the Earth?
There's a lot of different thought on that. 432 is supposedly how it modulates. Some people think that it's around the 1 or 2 level, but whatever it is, 432 seems to be in harmony with it and allows us to. If our music was 432, if our electricity was 54, which is a harmonic of 432, nothing would be disruptive anymore. It would be such a simple switch.
So is that kind of alluding to Tesla technology that so many of us think we know about?
Yes and no. At our frequency, at 440 frequency, at the 60 cycle frequency and the 50 cycle frequency, no, Tesla equipment is bad. If you were to tune the Tesla equipment to it's going to have to operate 50 and 60 cycle equipment anyway. because they're not going to remanufacture every single electrical item in the world to accommodate a new power system. So the new power system has got to accommodate everything else. 50 cycle and 60 cycle equipment will operate at 10% plus or minus. 54 and 55 are your two options. 55 is not in harmony. 54 is in harmony. All you've got to do, the power plant's frequency has got to be modulated at the power plant anyway. All we've got to do is change that modulation to 54 instead of 50 or 60.
What's the European frequency over there on
50.
It's at 50 and we're at 50. Yeah, there was a different. I thought there was like you need to.
They're at 50 and we're at 60.
Oh, okay. Thank you. So both of them are wrong, and we need to be in the middle then, nearly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we need to be at 54 instead of 50 or 60.
Now,
and go ahead.
Let me ask again. Thank you, Dave Everett, but he's not able to listen. He's on his phone. Minor Dave's out there in Oregon, and he's going to be getting back with a computer soon, I think. Sidetrack. So, I lost my train of thought. Where was I at? In the beginning, when electricity was invented by Benjamin Franklin, and then Thomas Edison came along and invented the lamp bulb. Now, do you think there was any kind of foreknowledge as far as all this configuration of the fields and frequencies and all that to be detrimental to our health, or they just came across what they came across and ran with it, and now it's too expensive to change, or do you think it was a concerted effort from the very beginning as a type of weapon against us?
Well, I think that in our civilization, they just found something that worked and went with the first thing. The European people found 50 cycles, and the American people found 60 cycles, and let's go with it. But we don't have, our most efficient transformer is only 60% efficient at best.
Wow. So we're losing nearly half of the what it takes to produce that.
Absolutely. And that's wasted.
Yeah, not to mention the transmission lines. It's the farther you travel with that electricity, the more power you need to push down the line. It's like running water in a pipe. You start losing your pressure the farther away from the source you are. So at that point, if you're putting a sprinkler system in, you would want to reduce your line from 1 inch to 3/4 on down to a half and so forth. As the further away you go. So transmission lines are very inefficient, and so we're losing a lot of power. So what we're doing is we're boiling a lot of water needlessly, right?
Yeah. The Romans used steam power, and now in the atomic age, boy, aren't we special. We just make a hotter fire and still use steam power.
Burn, baby, burn.
You betcha.
So
that's so ridiculous.
I as the god of fire, could actually probably be a source for correcting all the world's ills. All you have to do is convert now.
Yeah.
I need more input from your prayers and offerings. If you want to change the world, worship me. Worship me. Okay, so back to the serious side. Let me reduce this here, pull this back up and go look at wavelength frequency again. Okay, so we have these symbols, and I can't tell you what they are, but where that thing is wavelength in meters, B is frequency in hertz, 1/S, or I don't know why I'm even trying to read this. So, typical question, what is the frequency of red light with a wavelength of 690 nm? I don't even know what an nm is. This is probably
nanometers.
Nanometers, huh? There's just some formulas here, man, and I am sure
the frequency of infrared. Give me half a second, and I'll tell you.
All right.
I'm still going. and it's way down on the list. Infrared is high frequency.
So energy and frequency in relationship. Energy is directly proportional to frequency. To calculate energy from frequency or vice versa, you could use these following formulas. E equals hv, where E is energy in joules. Hey, big shout out, Jules. Mexico. UCY.TV. V is frequency in hertz, and H equals 6.626 times 10 to the 34th. This is an incredible large number, 10 to the 34th. It's almost phenomenally uncalculable to me. Well, it is, of course, uncalculable for me, but for even the math whiz, it seems like incredible numbers here. I'm going to kill that math because it's not doing me a lot. Let's move on to the relationship between disease and energy frequency. We've talked some about how frequency can be detrimental, but it can also be an actual benefit for us. So energy.
Absolutely. Everybody's frequency is specific to the individual. Everybody's electric field is specific to the individual. However, all humans are within a specific frequency range. And within that frequency range are different frequencies for the liver and the kidneys and the lungs and the hearts and all that sort of thing. So all you've got to do is instill the proper frequency into somebody at a higher amplitude than their personal body, and that will adjust their frequency, making them healthy. And I think every disease can be healed this way. And thanks to MIT and Carnegie Mellon, we now know the frequencies of all the organs in the body. And it's just a matter of producing a machine that will provide those frequencies. I know I'm talking to a dead microphone.
No. No, you're not.
Okay.
That's me. I was dead.
He goes on mute. He mutes his while you're talking, and mine won't work unless I mute it.
Yeah. Okay, thanks, Flash.
Okay.
Yeah, I was muted. I started talking without unmuting. Okay, so this is from energyfanatics.com. The answers to everything lie within the substance of energy. And this is a relationship between disease and energy frequency. Energy is the core substance of everything in the universe. Without energy, there would be no life. Because life needs energy to fuel its existence, the energy that created our time matrix and our universe has a unique ability that allows it to have infinite expression. The infinite expression is achieved through vibrational frequency. Continuing on, I'm going to grab this link. So,
and the energy that our body produces that runs our electrical engine, if you were to put diesel in a gasoline car, what would it do to it? It'd mess it up. If we put bad food in our bodies, that messes us up. We're using the wrong fuel. So healthy eating is a real important thing to proper health.
Certainly. Thanks, Hans Dietrich. He's dropping some good links in there. So the REM, what's the frequency there? Oh, that's from Governor. You guys are really doing a great job. Welcome, A-Trax. Not A-Trax, not cassette, not VHS, but the A-Trax. And he jams it out here on Fridays. There is that one I dropped in. I've lost the train of thought again. Let me go back over here where I was at.
Now, just click your heels together.
Vibration, frequency, and health. Vibrational frequency plays an important role in the creation of our physical reality because it allows the energy to express itself in any form. Oh, I remember the last one. It allows energy to express itself in any form, including molecules, atoms, planets, stars, biological life. David, I hope you're listening. David over at World Truth. This would probably win credibility, whatever he has to say, or at least confirmation to some of it, whether our conclusions are the same or not. So, and even diseases, to be more specific, even biological or non-biological, thing has a unique energy signature, and this is what you're talking about, Terry, that vibrates at certain frequencies. Understanding how energy frequency works is important for your well-being, because when your energy isn't vibrating correctly, you are more vulnerable to disease. Just what you were saying. Below is an excerpt from justolist.blogspot.com and about how vibrational frequency plays an important role for your health and how it can be used to cure diseases. This information about energy frequency at that blogspot correlates with all the information in his book, Steradium. In fact, some of the information is almost identical, although he has never come across the website until recently. And if I'm going to click that in, if you guys would have and it's changing. Okay, so I'm going to grab that and bring it back over to chat there at Delivery Me. And for your perusement pleasure, you'll be seeing that. And, well, you see it right now, but you'll hear me telling you it here in about 30 seconds. So there is that. Now, Dr. Royal Raymond Wright, he experimented with frequencies. He did a lot. I mean, he went through. You've always heard that Edison went through all these light bulb filaments before he came upon the right one that worked. Royal Wright did, let me see, Electro-Magnetic Spectrum. I'm going to grab that also. That's from Larry. And I'll bring that over, and we can discuss that in a moment. Okay. What's your problem? Not a problem. All right, try again. There. Stop it. So anyways, Royal Wright was experimenting on killing cancer with the frequencies, and what he found out is that there's a frequency that does not harm the human tissue, but it will cause the cancer cell to vibrate and break apart, and so virtually just destroying the cancer. It's not curing, and curing is a bad word. I try not to use that word cure. Correlation and correction would be, or elimination in the case of Royal Wright. So tell us something about Royal Wright, would you please, Larry?
Yeah, he was the leader, as far as I'm concerned, in healing with frequency. There are a lot of people out there now that are bucking magics and running them through different types of crystals and different types of gases to heal people with. There are football teams use magnets to heal themselves with to take the stress out of their muscles and stuff. It's getting to be widespread everywhere except in the United States. The United States is for the elite, and they keep it off the market because it puts doctors out of business. With the Rapture, he was the beginning of the good stuff. He provided one chair that did everything. He put enough frequencies into it of the right kind to help people, and I think that his success rate was over 70%. There were a few people that won't be affected by this, a few people that will not be cured by this, but as a rule, most people will. Just because the people that won't be are so far out of the proper frequencies that there's nothing we can do for them.
Yeah, they're dead at sea.
Yeah, I mean, once you crack a block, it's pretty much time to replace that, I guess, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Thank you, Miner Dave, for sharing. He's a friend of mine. He was on Miner Dave. You guys may remember him from last week. So anyways, good guy. We're waiting for him to come back to air. With the new computer, I think he's getting that all sorted out. He's a friend of Pal's and lives up there in the Jefferson Republic. So, pretty good guy. A lot of good folks up there. Hal Anthony, of course, everybody knows here. Quite a guy. Professor of mine. Okay, so let's talk about that link you dropped there, and let me move you out of the way. Let's see Flash's head on top of it. AM radio band. And this is the hyperphysics.fix that EDU you dropped there, Claire?
Yeah, the radio frequencies the AM band, are not real harmful to us. Shortwave band needs to be in a Faraday cage. Their equipment needs to be in a Faraday cage, and you need to stay away from the antennas. Moving on down, TV and FM band, that's getting up there where it's starting to put out some major radiation. Going on down to microwave and radar, that's where our major problem is. From 1.6 gigahertz all the way up to 30 gigahertz and beyond. That's what our military uses. The HARP, those are frequencies. Those are radio wave frequencies, radar frequencies they're putting into the atmosphere. What that does is all of the aluminum and stuff that they've been spraying into the atmosphere, we're breathing that in. That makes us a better conductor. And being a better conductor, once they send all of these different frequencies out, that makes them have a stronger effect on individuals and our animals and our trees and our water. So one of the things we've got to get stopped is the chemtrails. Maybe everything can be magnetized if it's forced. So maybe a huge burst of magnetism in the atmosphere in a few different places will clump that and let it fall down to earth, and then we can deal with it once we get it on the ground.
So, Flash asks, how are the vibrations maintained at the correct setting? And I would assume that to mean settings as far as machines and also levels for ourselves.
On the ride share, he simply provided those frequencies in his coils, and he used standard General Electric type coils, which in themselves put out harmful radiation. But the way he did it with his share, it eliminated that effect. Like the guys with the Tesla exciters that make the fluorescent tubes light up. If you hold a fluorescent tube in your hand and walk under a high power line, it'll light up. These Tesla exciters do exactly the same thing. You're just providing that high frequency for the agitation of the gas modules in the fluorescent tube. So, and what we're doing today with our standard types of coils, we're producing something that when these guys do that, if they do it for any extended period of time, they'll get brain fog, they'll get dizzy. When they go to bed at night and wake up the next morning, their muscles and joints ache. Now, you can't tell me that that's helpful.
So Flash continues to ask them, these are manufactured to work better, change the machine, right?
Change the machine, change the type of coil that we use.
Not the source of anything, right? Well, it's my experience.
The source of energy, as we use it today, if it's modulated to 54 cycles, then that would work. That would help everybody. That would make us more healthy. And that would do it, because all of the microwave and everything is operated off of that 60 cycle and 50 cycle equipment. Right. So once we change that to 54, that's going to slightly adjust the frequencies of all that microwave stuff and put it back in harmony with the Earth.
So go ahead and say it out loud, Flash. I'll hear it, and Larry will, and I'll relay it.
Educating people about shit that matters, that really makes the difference in your life, is one of the hardest things there is to do. They're built or designed or something to repel everything that you explain that I just jump all over. I could see other people just shaking their head and walking away because they don't have the ability to really understand what it means.
Yeah, so if I might surmise that, yeah, it's probably designed set up for that too, but it'd be that.
Yeah, it sounds complicated, but it's really, you just change a machine. Change the way a machine is made, and everything is better.
The way a machine is made, and we find that we can correct that then, right?
There you go.
Yeah, absolutely. All we've got to do in the power plant, they're not turning at 60 times a minute or a second, excuse me. Their machine is turning a lot faster than that, so they have to modulate that frequency. And since they're doing it anyway, quit modulating it to 60, modulate it to 54. Problem solved.
Where do you find the resistance to this as far as from industry? Because it would mean remaking everything, or just to maintain the status quo, or to what?
Edison made a transformer, and they put 60 cycles to it. They probably tested a whole bunch of different frequencies, but when he was told, if you can't charge for it every month, I don't want it, I will not fund you anymore. Then he found a way to make it less efficient and cost more money to operate. And that's what they've done.
Yeah.
And he has been accepted, and their way of thinking has been accepted worldwide. Boy, Edison was a genius. Everything he says has got to be right.
Yeah.
There you go.
Keeps the money
going. We've been brainwashed. We've been brainwashed, and people don't know because they haven't been told.
They don't even want to know.
And we just need to, and they don't want to know. You're right. It works now. It's been this way all my life. Why should we change it?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. There's something about us we have to try.
Yeah, we do. We have to try. We have to try to understand what's going on.
Well,
we have to try to figure out what to do to make it better. Yes.
The way I see it is, you understand what you understand for your benefit, and if I understand what you talk about, that just benefits me if I allow it to. So,
okay, now I need to translate that because they're not. You have to go in shorter clips. So say that again and let me just in paragraphs, and I'll
just
relay that.
I'll go on the radio. You know, we are designed or brought up or trained or something to accept the input from other people. And something about the way we think makes us pick and choose facts that we want to accept as truth. And that influences a decision that you have based on nothing more than somebody else's opinion, and it's got too much power.
Okay. So I could not hear that.
Oh,
hear that.
I forgot about that. All right.
Yeah, so let me just give an explanation to our chatters. So, yeah, we're damned if we do or damned if we don't, one way or another.
Yeah.
So in order for the better sound quality between me and the guest, their settings, we tried everything. Yeah, Grammy, when Flash when he mutes his mic, when he mutes Skype, you can hear him. So that's the deal there. And what we're going to work on next time is actually doing it like this, and then we'll add Flash in on another computer into the call, and then we can all talk. And we'll all go through that machine right there. So that's how that's working today. And you know, when Flash and I started out, we said that we would do this as we go, and we don't have any. We're not going to put any demands on one another. We're going to allow this to work through, and you know, we're both technicards. We're both old leaky vessels, and so are our computers. So This is what we got, and we've been trying to bring the quality better, and I hope I am providing good guests. I think I am. I spent the last, I guess, 4 or 5 years and on my voyage of discovery, that I call it, and coincidentally, or at least here I am continuing this voyage of exploration and discovery. And so I have developed quite a network of people that are a lot smarter about things than I am. So this is the point to bear, is bringing this to air. And Larry, I've been following for quite some time. And by the way, Suzanne Posel, it's been more than a year or two. It's been at least 3 years that I've known you. I discovered UCY.TV when you broadcast there, so it was not just a year or two. It's been 3 years. Anyway, so Larry, I've been keeping up with his work for a very long time, and a couple of years ago, I wanted to bring him there at UCY.TV on my program there, my broadcast. I'm not calling it a program, of What Matters Worldwide. And it was his. Oh no, I was trying to bring him over to Off-Grid when I was hosting for Drew Lamb there. But anyways, his schedule did not coincide, but now I have him here for all of our benefits. And yes, Hans, you hear Flash when he when he mutes his mic, you can hear him. That's not great.
Mute.
So y'all heard what he said, but we didn't, because when he mutes his mic, you hear him, but we don't. It's crazy, right?
We just need to spread the word. We need to let everybody know that there are things that we can do to make this better.
Right.
That we don't have to live under their extreme rule. We can get off the grid. If you can't afford to do it all at one time, do it one light bulb at a time. Do it one appliance at a time. Everybody can do it. There are many explanations on YouTube. Some of them work, some of them don't. Try it for yourself. You can get magnets really cheap. You can make bearings really easy. A magnetic bearing is, in my opinion, one of the best ways to do it without having to provide electricity to make electricity. That's where we're going wrong. Currently, the thought is it takes more to produce what you're using than what you use. Well, now with certain kinds of coils, we've learned that that's not true. You can produce more than you consume. And that means when you do that, the power company, if you're still on the grid, the power company has to pay you instead of you paying them. They have to buy that power from you. It's your excess.
Let's go ahead. It's almost another 420 report. Dry on this end, so smoke them if you got them. Why did you quit? He's back. I am the God of Fire. Just like that. Bam. My first red. So, there you go. Thanks, Vlad. 420. Cannabis can. Indeed it can. Cannabis is a solution to most of the world's problems. Now, let's change our direction, Larry, and let's move into some ideas of alternate generation of power. Let's talk about the Stirling engine. Let me just hand you that. And tell us about the Stirling engine.
Okay, the Stirling engine, the heat transfer Stirling engine?
That's correct.
Okay. I've been watching him for a long time, and that is a really, really good design. It's very efficient. You can have an almost limitless power supply with it. You can size it up. You can size it down. It's a real good way to go. There are a lot of ways to go. I hate to switch over, but the Searle motor is good. What that does is uses a bank of magnets to just turn an existing motor. And if you don't have to turn the motor by putting power into it, when the shaft on the motor turns, engine does. That's what the swirl engine does. They all do that. They're using existing motors. They're turning the shaft on the motor either mechanically or electrically or with magnetically. They're turning it some way. Even a bicycle pedal would turn it. So once you turn the shaft on a motor, that produces power. And there's a whole bunch of different power leads on the motor. You can get different voltages out of it. And it tells you right there on the little cover that you have to take off to get to those wires. It tells you how to hook them up for the different voltages that you want. So it's a real easy thing.
Wow. Completely something different. Thank you, Jules. I like Dave Russell's a lot, and Jules created an archive page here. I'm dropping it down there right now. Real Liberty Media. Dave Russell's and Bill Cooper, some of the forerunners of evolutionary thought as far as producing information for people to see some of the control factors behind the world. So thanks, Jules. She does an amazing job. She's about single-handed over there producing all that. Incredible. So, anyways, let me go back to the Stirling engine. What is that screen? It's like rippled and it's on like a big screen TV. What do you call that kind of screen there? The lens, the front bracket. It didn't come to my mind. It's like a giant magnifying glass. You know, it's a plastic screen that comes off the front of like an old big screen TV. The name of it.
Are you talking about the ion projector of an old TV?
No, it's the actual, the plastic screen that goes over the actual tube there on the television that allows to see what you're seeing there. It of course would bend the light wave.
Oh,
it's all right. You're not. Hey, it's okay. You don't have to be quiet. It's not like that.
Yeah, we can hear you. I can hear you.
Yeah, I know you guys, but the radio can't. So.
Yeah, the radio can't.
My nephew is being nice.
Yes, y'all. Tell them to jump and shout. No problem. Anyway, so what the effect is basically you're using this. I've watched a lot of videos on it. You can melt the padlock, just a penny in a second, basically. And so it's bending all the light rays from the sun, and if you had that where it would track the sun, you could.
You're talking about a Fresnel lens.
That's Fresnel, yes. Fresnel.
I'm sorry.
Fresnel lens, yes. So you could direct that with motors that would be powered. Energy would come from what you're producing for this Stirling engine. So if you can capture that, heat this big, huge block of steel, or I don't know, cement, it probably cause it to blow up. Direct difference on there. But you could use that for your heat source, and I'm pretty sure batteries and all that in the coils that you're talking about, you could store a tremendous amount of energy to use that you needed. But anyways, so, and then if you lived out here in the country where I did, you had a pond, so for your cool source, even just the air in winter would do it. And of course, with all the solar radiation management, we're going to have a lot of decrease in efficiency. And I think there's something to this more than just I think the spraying, the aerosol program is multifaceted. And part of it is for solar radiation management, and it's not for our benefit. But you could build a power plant, a Stirling power plant that would produce a tremendous amount of power. Now, most people may be familiar with this machine as this little novelty item that sits on their desk, and I think they set a candle under the heat producing end.
Right.
Heat that up, and then so this wheel turns. Right.
Right, but to use it at your house, all you would have to do is run black tubing through your compost pile to get your heat, and black tubing through the earth to get your cool. There's your your two different sources of heat and cool, your two different temperature ranges, because your compost pile is always making heat, and the ground maintains a constant temperature.
Yeah, I wonder what kind of expense and all that would be involved in that. I mean, first you could probably with found materials probably produce something that was making power relatively cheaply. I mean,
well, absolutely. This is turning a central shaft. You intake heat in one end, and it pushes it out and takes cold in the other end, and it creates the piston motion that moves it. But all this does is turns a central shaft. Where that shaft is turning, attach the shaft of your motor, and you're done. As long as you've got different heat and cool, the Stirling motor is going to continue to work. The shaft on the motor will provide, as it turns, it'll provide you electricity, and depends. You could turn a 50-horse motor with something like this. You know, so that's plenty to provide all the power you need for your house.
I wish Desert Hawk was in here listening right now. I don't see him in the chat over at UCY, but like I said, I'm going to go back and go through all these archives in these last 3 weeks. So we're up to 6 weeks. This is into the 6th week of production of No Time for Rational Thinking, and for the past 3 weeks, we've been producing an extra 4 broadcasts through the week. Yeah, Joe, if you're listening, that is a landing. Real Liberty Media World Truth. That's the chat over here. I'm not sure if you're listening. I'm over at the UCY chat right now. Side by side, Channel 24, Real Liberty Media will bring you right back side by side chat with Real Liberty Media World Truth and UCY. Grimner has provided an incredible work over here. And if you're not listening to me, there's plenty good folks to listen to. So I'll go back to Scott to see what that message was. It's a crazy face. People are crazy. Aren't we all crazy? A little bit.
Well, no.
Gotta be to live in this world.
We're tricked and lied to behave this way. If we were told the truth by the people that could tell the truth, we wouldn't behave the way we do.
All right, now unmute your mic and say that again, Flash.
Oh, yeah. If we were told the truth by the people that claim to tell the truth that don't, we wouldn't even live the way we live now. This is man-made and induced, and they love it. We must be great entertainment.
Okay, so I think you unmuted.
And we're back again.
Grimner, the Fence and Flash show. Yeah, Flash and Crash show. Sometimes. Anyway, so let's see if I can redirect myself back to the point. I'm easily distracted. What a joy it was listening to Doty back on with Jules this morning. Our flagship broadcast before the first cup, weekdays. It would be, I've got to do this in my head to translate from Central and Eastern. Let's see. Hal Anthony replays through the week every morning starting at 7 a.m. Central. That's 8 a.m. on the East Coast. So for 2 hours. Then following that would be Jules at 10 a.m. Eastern or 9 a.m. My time. So I didn't say that right. And yeah, there's the SpaceX. Thanks Miguel, Tomato. Hal and I were on, I think it's called Local on Firefox. But anyways, it's kind of like a Skype in a sense, or a video chat, or a tiny chat, or whatever. But so he had that going as we were trying to facilitate bringing Ron and Chris over together, and timing didn't work out. But we're working on that. We're working on getting Hal and Ron Stevens. So I'm on with Ron tonight, talking about the Bungie branch. And when I get off today, I'm going to call my buddy and make sure he's going to be calling in. My buddy John, good guy. A lot of great people showed up out there, and so we're going to talk about that tonight. And so back to the point. Where would I be? Let's see. I've looked at this. This is the one you provided, and I've pasted that into the feed over at World Truth. is this?
Let's talk a little bit about power production.
Okay.
We are not unique in electrical use. The pyramids made power, and since the pyramids were powered by the Earth itself, it put out the proper frequency of power. Okay? All the obelisks that are around in the world are Tesla towers, Tesla receivers, so that they can go and charge up their capacitors. The Ark of the Covenant was a capacitor, which was taken from Egypt because the Egyptians used them everywhere. These arcs were and as a matter of fact, we call a spark, an electrical spark, an arc. So there may be some correlation there. Everybody in Egypt, all the ancient Egyptians, used these capacitors, these mobile capacitors, to carry around with them to provide their power. And then they had to be recharged. That the obelisks were for. That's what an ankh and a horus was all about. The ankh was a visual power supply, and the horus head was the ground for it to make it work. That's why you always see a horse head with the ankh. But that being said, the Earth frequency was what the power source that they used. We need to go back to that. Get off my soapbox for a while.
No, I would agree with for sure. I'm over here bouncing all around. Big shout out, Liv Hal Levy. Let me do the translation again. So from 10, I'm going to go in Eastern time, 10 to 11, Jules, followed by Lonnie Clark, Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. Tuesdays and Thursdays, Kevin Blanche. Then Liv Hal Levy runs through the week. Every day we replace some of the archives there. That would be at noon Eastern, yeah. And then William Roberts, which I'm taking his time away from some folks right now. Appreciate it, and appreciate everybody else. So after that is Nathan Frazier. We live free with FM, rebroadcast 5 days a week, plus Sunday night live. And then the schedule would be. I have to go look at it. My mind's farted. Let me go back over here. Let's go to New World War, sonic weapons. What do you know about sonic weapons, brother?
Well, there are frequencies to heal. There are frequencies that will make you sick. There are frequencies that will make you complacent. There are frequencies that will make you obey. There's frequencies that will make you mess on yourself. There's frequencies that will kill you. Frequency is everything. In the electrical industry, if you want to cancel out a frequency, you can put another frequency in there to cancel it out. They could cancel out your free will. They could cancel out your breathing. They cancel out your heartbeat. So, yeah, there's a lot of sonic weapons out there. The proper sonic weapon can explode your eardrums. So, we need to be aware of that. The walls in your house aren't going to protect you from a sonic weapon.
No, I'm going to come back to you in just a minute, but I'm going to run through the schedule over here at Real Liberty Media. Grammy's Rocket Chair comes on tonight. This is all times Eastern, 8 p.m. That follows the Freaker Ball, Grammy Booty Girl at 11 p.m. Eastern, and then continuing on past the witching hour. Then on Saturdays, brand new. This Saturday be Kira's third broadcast of The Bridge with Kara. Saturdays at 4 p.m. in the afternoon. Sunday's a great big day. You see why? So, but Gramner's he's blowing the blues at noon Eastern, followed by, of course, the great Hal Anthony behind the woodshed continuing education credits, and that is at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central. Yeah, I own the Central, noon Central. That's why I chose noon, because just by saying noon Central, that makes me own that place, right? Here we go. Let me grab that schedule. Bring it on over. So, to our listeners, Real Liberty Media, everybody knows this except for me, right? Dence, spell my name D-E-N-S-E.
Yeah, just in case nobody noticed.
Whiteout TV listeners that's joined us here at Real Liberty Media, check out the schedule and join along. Come on along, Eileen. Back to the sonic weapons. This comes from NewWorldWar.org. In the introduction, a variety of high-powered sonic weapons exist spanning the infrasonic, ultrasonic, and audible ranges. Because they are weapons which direct sound onto a target, sound is energy. They can be considered directed energy weapons. These weapons produce both psychological and physical effects. They include highly directional devices which can transmit painful audible sound into an individual's ears at great distances, and infrasonic generators which can shoot acoustic projectiles hundreds of meters, causing a blunt impact on a target. Pretty amazing technology right there, and it's another one of these weapons used against us. We've seen it as crowd control. It's being released for the public's knowledge there that's one of the weapons. And can you imagine what we don't know about? Infrasonic generators can cause negative emotions such as fear, anxiety, or depression. Of course, Larry's been talking about this, so this is a reiteration of what he had to say, as well as biological symptoms like nausea, vomiting, organ damage, burns, or death, depending on the frequency. And like you said, Larry, the cell phone at your head that's been known to left there too long, somebody fall asleep and cause some problems or death. So, depending on the frequency and power level, most of these weapons function between the frequency range of about 1 hertz to 30 kilohertz. These frequencies occur within the following waves: extremely low, that's ELF, that's 1 hertz to 30 hertz. Super low, extremely low, super low, that's 30 to 300 hertz. Ultra low is 300 hertz to 3 kilohertz, and very low frequency, 3 hertz to 30 kilohertz. Within the ELF region, that's extremely low frequency region of the spectrum, there is a type of sound called infrasound, which occurs between 3 and 20 hertz. Infrasound is usually not heard, but it can be if the power level is sufficient. Next, audible noise begins for most people at about 20 hertz up to 20 kilohertz and occurs between the upper ELF, that's into the VLF, so V is very low, and ranges. Ultrasonic begins in the VLF range at about 20 kilohertz, just above human hearing. Another sound factor is power, usually described using a unit of measurement called a decibel. So 10 decibels is loud, right? Decibels are used to measure the power of an audible or inaudible sound, both of which produce effects. Any sound begins to become physical painful at about 120 decibels. There been a rock concert? I was thinking of some other ones, like, never mind. Although at lower levels can cause discomfort, at about 130 decibels it becomes unbearable. In this chapter, words such as intensity level, power, pressure, and decibel are all used to describe sound power. And on and on. Resonance, infrasonic and ultrasonic weapons, infrasound, ultrasound, sonic projectiles, vortex gun, scrolling down, electromagnetic personnel interdiction control, long-range acoustic device, directed stick radiator, and then there's a lot of sources, and I'm going to copy and bring that over to chat.
And the low frequency rate that you were talking about, the brain operates at 0.5 to 200 hertz. So all of that would disturb your brain. All of the low frequency range that they're using in that are meant to hurt your head.
Back to chat over here. Thank you, Beth. This is Larry Larry Woods, and Beth says, I have a great guest, dude, and indeed I do. Like I said, and welcome Java Doctor. Wait, he's left. Is he back? Come back. Yeah, Java Doctor is a longtime friend of UCY.TV. He's one of the guys that do things around over here at Real Liberty Media. Great guy. David, we're very appreciative of all your work. So there is that link right there. Oh, I better take it over to put it over to also on my thread here at World Truth. And there is the, I got an anarchical sign for frequency. It was some musical place, some group or something overseas, but I included accreditation for use of the photo, which I almost always do. So there, if you're not a friend at World Truth, if you're not on World Truth, I would invite you at this time to join worldtruth.org, providing Real Liberty Media. That is correct. And I'm going to the main page to grab the inviter, just in case we have any UCY.TV listeners over here at Real Liberty Media that have not joined up. I'm gonna grab that. It'll take me a minute. I'm gonna hand you back to Mike, and reintroduce yourself for our listeners, and tell them something about yourself.
Okay, I'm Larry Woods, retired electrical engineer. Attempting to create a better coil. We've eliminated the eddy currents out of the coils. We've got a coil that does not produce any heat at 3 times over the rated amperage of the wire. Blah, blah, blah. It's another coil. What we've done is not unique. What we've done is basically copied all of the ancient ways. We've rediscovered some of them. All of our knowledge is gleaned from either vortex math as the newest thing, and it goes way back to the beginning of our recorded history, to the Anunnaki. Some of the ancient Hindu yantras, the pictures that they look at to meditate with, some of those are coil designs. So we're not doing anything new. Nobody's doing anything new these days. We're just rediscovering the ancient knowledge. And I think that we're doing a pretty good job of it so far. We've learned how to use magnetics now. We've added magnetism and frequencies as the electrical formulas to describe what they can do. We've been taught all of our school lives that electricity is 3-dimensional. Well, it's not. It's 5-dimensional. Volts, amps, ohms, frequency, and magnetism. If you don't take those all into account, you can't do any serious calculations on what these new coils will do.
Let me fill this, or let you fill this question from chat from Beth Z. It probably backed up. I missed it earlier because I was bouncing all around, Beth, but I'll ask it now. Thank you. Beth is an amazing chatter here. A lot of input, and I appreciate you listening and tuning in to Vince. So she says, is something missing to make any or all of these theories work? She says she asked because if it could be done, wouldn't it have already been done, especially this century, given all the collaboration that's gone on? Surely not everyone needs or even wants to keep it secret to be a zillionaire. And you did answer that in part, but I'm going to let you answer it again. Please.
A lot of people are going in the right direction at this point, and the collaboration is really good between all of the different people that are doing this. Some of them are people that don't have any electrical background. Some of them are people with great electrical backgrounds. Some of them are physicists. of them are basement hobbyists. Irregardless of who they are, you have to take all of these different points of view into account. Some of the guys don't know that the magnetic field can't cross itself with anything other than 90 or 180. Some of the guys think that you've got to wind everything in both different directions and make it cross in funny ways to get it out. And they're getting over unity. But they're collapsing their fields in every move. So there's just different little tricks that we all know one or two of them, but I don't think any of us know all of them yet. And people are open sourcing a lot of things, but the people that are actually close to the real solution are keeping it all to themselves at this point. There are ways to do it, and I think we've come up with one of the ways that's close to the best, simply because we don't have any heat factor, and our coils, one unique thing about them, when you add a load to it, it doesn't give you a voltage drop. And standard electrical thinking is that when you add a load to any circuit, you get a voltage drop. What ours does is it increases the amperage a little bit, proportionate to the load. And that increase in amperage increases the magnetic field. And the increase in the magnetic field decreases the resistance of the wire. What that means is that you can put more power through the wire than what is rated for at this time.
Oh, I thought I was muted. I was going up there on mute. But I guess I'm not muted. I was back over here and cruising around. So, about 15 minutes left to go here today, and then I'll have about a 4-hour break before I come back. And I'll be back here at Real Liberty Media Chat to remind y'all that I hope this is going to be a really good expose about the Bundy Ranch. The standoff be 2 years ago now, coming up. I think it's been 2 years in April the 12th. So I got there the day before and spent a few weeks out there. Met a lot of great folks, and I've got a lot of response here on, and I see some folks that I met out there. Some folks that I've not met personally, and others I have. Bill, great guy, man. I forget, it was the Transportation Resistance Network. So I was in Vegas, and I jumped on. I said, "Hey, anybody going to Bunkerville?" And Bill stepped up, and he come, and I met him down the road a ways, and put my gear in the back of his truck, and away we went. There's Dodie. Zori, nice fix, Zori. What a great gal. Fellow at-large host of UCY. She came back on this morning. And she and I, when I went back out there, I was staying in Arizona for a little while, and then we met back up yonder. Dodie's an incredible, wonderful person. So there's Delight, Austin Thomas, Joan Lewis. I met there. She lives in Arizona, quite an activist. There's Minor Dave, David Dwayne Everest, Stephen Brooks. I met him at the Bunkerville, down in Bunkerville out there where we was together. He's a great guy and father. Day 4th born, Kerry Johnson, Nedrick Kay, Augie Whitson, Tony Shelton, BJ Sober, Maria Fennell, Jennifer Joy, Garmin, Kenneth L. Bohr, Aylin A., Renee Powers, Andrea C., Brad Wright, Aaron Welling, and again, Dennis Ford, Bill Nutley, Jody Jones. Y'all are great people, and I hope to bring some good quality content tonight, and I hope I can get my buddy John. I'm going to give him a call here in a little bit. About 10 more minutes, I'm going to call him and say, "Don't forget," and then I'm going to walk about a mile for a camel, to smoke a camel. Well, not really a camel, but yeah. Okay, so I'm going to go back over here to Real Liberty Media Chat. Yes, you are a great guest, Larry.
I want to ask Larry a question before he goes back on.
Okay, ask that real quick now, and then mute up or unmute or whatever you do, and then add so the listeners. Okay.
Right. Well, Larry, is there like one sentence that you could use to explain that the dynamics of that 54, whatever it was, machine thing that you were explaining. Have no knowledge on machinery. Okay, so if I'm attracted to your idea just on basic common sense, but if I was to pursue it, what would I call it?
You have to adjust the frequency.
Okay, restate his question if you would, please. Or unless he's telling it now.
Me? I mean, me?
He's telling it. No. I was asking Larry to restate his question, your question, unless you're doing it now.
Okay, the question was, what would be one statement that would explain the frequency of the electrical power that we've got now? Okay.
So we understand.
The generators spin real fast, and they have to adjust that spin to only 60 times per second for our power. 60 times a second puts us in that 440 frequency.
Okay.
So that's not good for us.
Right. Got it.
The same with their 50 cycle power. They're spinning real fast, and they've got to modulate it to the 50 cycles.
So just adjust the modulation. Okay.
Yeah, simply adjust the modulation at the output source in big power plants, the main power plants.
What goes
adjust their frequency, and you're done.
But what goes into making an action of that nature? Is it a big deal? Is it what would create?
It's a printed circuit board. It's a printed circuit board. It probably costs $20 at most.
Okay.
There's nothing to it at all.
Okay.
It's simply a frequency modulator, and you can get them at Radio Shack.
But thanks for breaking it down. It's just I'm slow at this stuff.
Yeah, they're real easy to do. It's not something that the power companies would have to remake the power plant to do.
Right.
It's one board and one computer that they'd have to change.
Wow. Then they lose their lives. Yeah. It's a money decision. Got it.
Yeah, it's a money decision, exactly. Yeah, they would be losing, doctors would be losing out because people would be more healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Animals and plants would grow better. Things that don't matter.
It's not going to be a very popular thing. Okay. I got you.
No.
Well, I was leaning that way, but you explained it very well. Thank you very much.
Good question. Right?
Well, I interrupted you. I interrupted you for that, so now I'm backing out.
Whoever's ringing is welcome to answer the phone. Put them on air.
It's not on here.
Oh. Okay, I am looking. There it is. This is let me introduce tomorrow's show. And Flash, I got to move you out of my way. Click read more. Okay, tomorrow, Daryl Becker from Voluntary Visions joins us on This Is No Time for Rational Thinking. This will be volume of Void 6, excursions 7 and 8. Failed our frequent. I'm going to tie my tongue up here. Thank you, Chuckle Telly. I almost didn't get one in today. Fragrant fallacies. Okay? So that will be tomorrow, noon Central on Real Liberty Media World Truth. And that will be at 8 a.m. in Hawaii and 7 p.m. in Denmark, on the other side of the world now. And that is December. Okay, wait a minute. Flash is waving at me.
No, that was on the other side of the world.
Oh, yeah, waving waves around the world.
Yeah.
Waves across the waves. I'm waving back at you, buddy. Me and my buddy Flash are looking at one another right here. Good-looking fella, if he wasn't so ugly. So tomorrow, December 23rd, Wednesday, noon Central. No time for rational thinking. So we're coming out to about 5 minutes here. But anyway, so it's what I did Saturday. I went with a very, very much a non-violent communication method and did a little slamming. But I did in that discuss evolution versus creation. So my homework in the morning before going to air tonight maybe is to go back and I listened to it, but I didn't take notes. So I want to listen again. I want to critique myself, and I want to bring the point. So what I concluded, because I was listening to Daryl Becker. I've listened to a lot of hours of Daryl. I'm going to call him an expert in trivium, the trivium method, and nonviolent communication or voluntary interaction. So I think what I had come up against was a little empathy malfunction, and sometimes it's good to say, "Fuck it," say what you mean. And if somebody's coming over and climbing your fence and swimming in your pool and pissing in it, you got every right to be angry and tell them to get the hell out. That's trespass. This goes back to the laws of nature, the laws of what is wrong is death when you steal somebody's life, property, even their emotional state of being. This is sin. This is death. This is wrong. This is evil. So this is how I premise all this. But I'm going to go back and critique myself a little more and take notes, because I did make a lot. I did misquote and made some mistakes. But the general gist of it tomorrow is in voluntary communication and interaction among one another or between individuals, and to be able to do a better job of communicating. Something I've been working on myself for a little while, and I don't know. I certainly fail pretty often. So to be able to properly communicate or adequately communicate between one another, especially when it comes to conveying ideas, I think we probably have an obligation and a duty to try to have improvement. So we're going to round out. I'm going to turn the mic back over and let Larry give us some closing words, and I'll ask Flash to do the same, and I'll come back to it.
He who screams loudest is true.
That's it.
Oh. Now, wait a minute.
It is.
I just like...
Shut up!
You win.
All right.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to do.
Yeah, the show's
everybody
all
out
yours,
there should
Becky.
go onto YouTube, because everybody's got it. Look up free energy, look up magnetic motors, look up swirl engine. It's all out there. It's all good. It all works. Some of it works. Try it out. Play with it. It's give you and your kids something to do. Get the kids interested in this kind of stuff and take them fishing. But it starts with the youth and carries on with us. If we can't show our ways to be correct to our children, we have hurt our children. So just do it. It's up to us.
Just do it. That would make a really good motto for the company.
Yeah.
Just do it. Put your back into it. That's some cowboy logic right there.
Yeah, I made I put up frequency and its definition on the main feed for people to make the reference between what you were talking about and what frequency covered. And
they can't hear you.
No, but you can. So you know where it's at.
You don't go too far, I won't be able to repeat it all. So Flash put up on the main page there at World Truth. Tell me again, the frequency relation?
Yeah, frequency, the definition of frequency. Not 2 pages of it, just the basic, explanation of frequency and how it applies. And, maybe there's people that don't put 2 and 2 together right away and understand that the speed of a motor can change your life. It might not be... Yeah. It might not be the easiest thing for some people to understand. It took me a while to get the gist of this, and I've been on here with him twice.
All right. Yeah, so they can't hear you, but it takes a little while. Yes, we can, Grammy says. We're coming out to the end of the hour there, and I'd like to thank everybody for listening. Thank you, Flash. Thanks, Circle. You guys are awesome. Thanks, Larry. You've been an amazing guest, and I think that popular demand will require you to come back. And Beth Z says, LOL at Larry's screen. And on Secret says, LOL at non-aggression principle. That doesn't mean that you can't slap somebody in the mouth when they need one. That probably does a whole lot of changing attitude more than anything at the time. So, yeah, if you get aggressive with me, expect that back, problem. Anyways, that's the end of it. It's a wrap. Thanks again, everybody. It's Grammys tonight. Stay tuned. Real Liberty Media.
Thanks
and
a lot,
tune in
Larry.
to CY.TV for an incredible array of programming over there. Not programming, broadcasting. Got to keep working on my language. Thank you, Hal. That's a wrap. Thanks, guys.
Thanks. Another fun time.
Thanks, Walter.